With Annotary. I'm really excited. They're going to give us a demo. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us, what is Annotary?
So I'm Travis Hardman.
I'm Ashok Nair. And Annotary is a highlighting tool that lets you highlight things that you read on the web, bookmark them into topical collections, and share them with anyone that's interested in what you're reading and researching.
Cool. So it's actually easier to see it than talk about it, so I'll show you real quick. Basically, you're reading on the web. We have a browser extension that you can open up. It works in Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. You pick one of your topical collections and save the page, and then that will open up the page into, oh no, we're losing internet.
We are at TechCrunch, where internet is never reliable.
Right. Ironically.
So let's talk about it a little bit more.
Okay, so basically you can bookmark a page. That'll open it up in highlighting mode. And we actually have a tool that allows you to highlight the text right in the page, make an annotation on the page, and then that'll actually be there anytime you come back to that page in the future.
I was just going to ask that. Like, so say I'm reading TechCrunch and I think something's interesting, or an investor article, or a name that maybe I want to research a little bit further, I can make a note on TechCrunch. But now, what do I need to remember to go back to that exact article?
So what we actually do is, as soon as you save the page, we store that on Annotary.com. So you can go back to Annotary.com, see all of your bookmarks, and all of those links will take you right back to the original page, and it'll show up with your highlights and all of your notes right there in the page.
That's awesome. So this is great for like a researcher, an author, a speaker, a business owner,
So with that example, if you have like an investor collection and you want to kind of reference what you're researching on TechCrunch, you just easily go to the investor collection, you pull up the TechCrunch article, and it's there. And I think the big problem that we're trying to solve with that use case is that, you know, a lot of us bookmark all day, every time, and we tend to forget why we bookmark something, right? Like what was important about that article. So with the highlighting kind of framework, it's really easy to just reference why we kind of cared about our bookmark.
So would you call yourself a bookmarking solution?
It's kind of an evolution on bookmarking.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and so basically what it allows you to do is, as opposed to traditional bookmarking where you're just saving a set of links, you know, you can share a link, we give you a lot more context. So when you're back through exploring your own links, you can see the individual highlights right there in the page. It's super easy to get the context, find out what was important and why. In addition to that, when you share pages with other people or you share a whole collection with somebody else, they get that context of your highlights and notes as well. And then beyond that, when they click on your links, they actually see the highlights in the page.
Right. So even in like a non-Annotary user, if you share a highlighted page with them, they can get the same experience. So they don't need to have the extension, they don't need to be signed up, and they still see the highlights on like the New York Times page.
And how long have you guys existed?
2-3 months. We've been building it in New York. We're based in New York, working out of his apartment in the East Village.
Awesome.
Bootstrapped, just working really hard at it, doing like a total round of customer development, and really launching here at Disrupt.
How, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
How, is it free? Like, how, do you pay for it to use it, or?
So it's totally free. So the idea that we're kind of going at is that a lot of what we save has a lot of value, but we're keeping it localized, we're keeping it on our browser. So open sourcing that and sharing that with the world has a lot of value, because typically people are researching things that other people are researching. So all of the public stuff, all of that is free. In the future, we're probably going to institute privacy. That might be paid. Not really sure yet how that's going to work, but we're going to institute groups, collaboration, everything's public, everything's shared, and everything's free.
And now, may I ask, if you guys don't charge, and obviously to maintain any business we need to make money, how can consumers, you know, trust that it will exist forever and their notes will exist forever? Are you going after venture capital, or what's your long-term strategy so that your people who use Annotary can trust that it'll be around? So we are trying to raise a seed round right now, but combined with our fundraising efforts, I think that, you know, with the privacy model in terms of going after B2B, you know, because this would be a great tool internally for companies, right? So law firms, market research firms who need to do really sensitive research, but would use Annotary internally, would want to pay for something like this. So with the revenue from that plus fundraising, I think that we'll be around for a long time. Can you export your notes?
Not presently, although that's obviously something that's very sensitive for people who are participating in like a cloud bookmarking service. So that's right at the top of our.
We have a print function. So the print function basically lets you go to the collection that you're using, click print, and it basically scrapes all of your highlights and all of your notes into a really like nice printable document. So you can do that.
I mean, I have to be honest with you guys. I do a lot of research, and I think it should be a paid tool.
Do you want to pay for it? We'll let you pay for it.
I would pay.
So that's a great data point for our customer development. Yeah.
I mean, I see where you're going with building a community, and I think it would be great, you know, a bookmarking service, you know, Dig, all this kind of stuff. But I, as a researcher, I would totally find it valuable as a business tool, and I don't see it really as a social tool, and I see Dig as a social tool.
Interesting. I mean, I think that, you know, going after markets like the education market, which is where a lot of people that are using it right now are using it in. So like there's a TA at Wharton who's using it to share notes with his class, right? But
what if the TA or the school then paid for it? They would license to use it as a school utility.
Right, so I think, go ahead.
So I think, I mean, we've kind of heard
listen, if you guys want to offer it for free, fine. So I'm just saying.
We've heard both use cases, right? So in some cases, like in the case of schools, we think that we can create a lot of value both for the free and paid users by users like this TA at Wharton who highlights a bunch of really good stuff, and then we make that publicly available. It's visible on search engines. You search Google, you find a great collection on Annotary. At the same time, there's obviously cases where you don't want to share all of your collections, and that's where we think that we have a real opportunity to charge for it. So if you're doing professional research, you know, you're a law firm, or even if you're a university doing sensitive research, those are all great paid use cases, and we've heard from a lot of people like you who say they'd be more than happy to pay for it.
Yeah, it seems like there's two completely different ways to go with it. The social route, where it's really interesting to be able to take notes and share with someone, or as a business utility, which is completely a different mindset. At least for me, it's a different mindset than a social gimmick, so to speak. You know what I mean? Not gimmick, but but you know, it's like even Twitter is like kind of like.
Well, what's interesting, I mean, they're different markets, but I think that they're similar use cases. So the only differentiator really that people that we've talked to really care about is privacy, in terms of paid versus not paid. You know, if it's public and it's shared, we haven't gotten a lot of people who are willing to pay for that, whereas the privacy aspect of it, they're willing to pay for it because it's such a powerful tool.
Right.
Particularly around collaborative privacy stuff. So, you know, if you have like a group in a company that's kind of doing the same type of research, really private sensitive stuff, they would pay for it.
And I see the difference in what you guys are offering versus Evernote, because I'm a daily Evernote user, but I see how this is like a very fine detail where it's an exact line in an article, very easy for me to view and easy for me to find those particular words, and why I thought that. I'm a person that writes in all the books I read. I write notes, so it makes sense. It makes sense. But for me, my biggest takeaway, business tool, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll pay for it. I'll be your first customer.
All right, cool.
Happily.
How can people contact you?
Cool, so we've got, we're up public live on Annotary.com. You can sign up and try it out. We're more than happy to answer email. I'm Travis at Annotary, Ashok at Annotary. So yeah, reach out to us. We respond to customers all day.
We spent the past 2 months really just talking to almost every customer that we have, trying to see if they care enough about it, and they all seem to care about it. So shoot us an email anytime.
Great, and thanks for spending your time with TechZulu. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Absolutely, thank you very much.